It's day one of Oscar Pistorius' trial in the North Gauteng High Court, and we're joined by our special correspondent Sipho Hlongwane, who's going to tell us what he's experiencing in the courtroom. Sipho, thank you for joining us. Can you tell us, where are you sitting right now?
Thank you. I'm sitting in the overflow room, which is a court room right next to the one where Pistorius is being tried right now. It's been opened for media and members of the public who want to watch the trial.
Now, court got a late start this morning. Were people a bit angsty?
Yes, it was a very bizarre incident. They couldn't find an Afrikaans interpreter in Pretoria, so we were delayed by 90 minutes.
In Pretoria?
In Pretoria, yes, but it was a very sort of calm mood. I think people just, it's been a year that we've been waiting, so 90 minutes didn't really matter so much in the end.
Now, speaking of a year ago, Oscar at his bail hearing was jittery, weeping, but he seemed to have it together today when he pleaded not guilty to all charges.
Yes, I think he's had more time to think about it, obviously. I think he's had, he's been very well briefed by the team of lawyers he's working with. So he seems to have it more together than he did a year ago. But of course, it would have still been fresh in his mind what had happened at the time. And now I think, he's also kind of brought himself into the trial. I think he's also accepted, that this is going to happen to him, and he's kind of just moving on with it.
We've heard testimony from the first witness. She described what she heard on the night of the shooting. She said she heard one gunshot, a pause, and then 3 other gunshots in relatively quick succession. And she's also said that she's heard blood-curdling screams coming from Oscar's house. What was it like hearing that?
You could hear, unlike Oscar, this particular lady who gave her testimony, she still had a lot of emotion in her voice when she described hearing the screams. She said in Afrikaans that it was difficult to convey the emotion of what she was hearing, but you could still hear in her voice that it was not a nice thing she heard. It was a very traumatic thing that she heard. And in fact, one of the interesting things that have come out of her particular testimony is that immediately after, the morning after hearing those screams, her husband began taking measurements of, the entrances to their own house in order to protect themselves from what they thought was a burglary incident in the estate across. So the lady herself does not live in the same estate as Pistorius's house is located, but she is very close to the border of the 2 estates, and thus could hear what was going on.
Of course, this is just day one, and we're preparing ourselves for many days of testimonies like these. What are the journalists like? Are they prepared, nervous?
I think I was discussing with a few of my colleagues, and we were trying to guess how long this is going to take. And there's a sense of apprehension, I think, with the journalists. There's a sense that this could very well go for a long, long time. Some people were talking about us still being here possibly next year. And it is a possibility. There's so much that the defense is going to dispute. There's so many witnesses that the defense is going to try to block from giving testimony. This particularly relates to the other charges that were brought against Oscar, because he's also facing charges of discharging a firearm inside an ex-girlfriend's car, the incident that happened at a Tasha's restaurant where he discharged the gun, and he's also facing charges of possessing ammunition without a license for it. And I think that what the state is really trying to prove there is that this is the kind of man that Pistorius was, that he was gun happy, that he's the kind of guy who can have ammunition on him without the necessary permits. And he's going to argue that it's baseless character assassination. It's really going to depend on what the witnesses say. And he's going to try and prevent them from talking at all. So this could go on for a very, very, very long time.
Well, Sipho, it's almost time for court to begin again, so we're going to let you go. But we really look forward to chatting with you throughout the court proceedings. Thank you very much.